And we have one of the biggest shows of the year in store for you tonight. Welcome to you.
Hello, Becca. Hello, everyone. It's great to be back on Thursday nights, and there's news galore as we go to air tonight with Basher Hawley's 4-week ban. The upholding of that tonight, the overturning at the Appeals Tribunal. We'll get to that very, very soon. Plus, this exclusive, these two men have not met since that famous day in football almost 10 years ago. Tonight, it's raw, it's emotive. Don't miss Barry Hall and Brent Staker face-to-face for the first time about football's most famous punching incident.
Can't wait for that. And Essendon's favourite son, Joe Watson, is live in the studio tonight. He's helping out a very special family.
And the stories keep coming. $50,000 can reshape these two men young life. Rory and Dylan head-to-head in the final of Telstra Footy Smarts.
Can't wait for that. Now, it is no good us just being here, Hutch. We need a superstar panel. And if you don't mind, we have the best defender in the competition. Put your hands together for Alex Rance, everybody. Also, the superstar from the Hawthorn Footy Club, Sean Burgoyne. And also along tonight is the one, the only, Shane Walford. Hey, bit of ninja.
Welcome, boys. Welcome, Alex and Sean and Shane. We're going to get to you all very soon. We've got a bit of business to deal with tonight, and let's get down to tin tack straight away. Would you join with me in welcoming the 40-year television legend, the 300-game Geelong Hall of Famer, the one, the only, John Sammy Newman.
Now, I've taken a bit of a belting this week for some inappropriate pronoun I used when speaking about Caitlyn Jenner. I've apologised for that and am doing that again. But, I remember Caitlyn Jenner as Bruce Jenner, who won an Olympic gold medal in the decathlon, I think, as a male. And I was searching for the clinical term to call her. I wasn't sure whether she, as a male, was still complete or as a woman was not complete. I am now advised that that makes no difference at all. If you wish to declare yourself a woman, if you're a man, or vice versa, that's all that matters. I take that on advisement. I was navigating my way through the L, B, G alphabet of, you know what I'm talking about, until Mork and Mindy here interrupted me. If I'd got to T, I would have probably realised that Caitlyn is a transgender person and now is identified as a woman. So I can't apologise anymore for the unfortunate remark I made, the pronoun I used. I know I'm a Luddite and a troglodyte and a dinosaur, and I'm in a different generation, so I am now enlightened, as a lot of my other friends are, about what it means and if people wish to go down that path. So I am, if something good has come out of it, I'm now more enlightened as to what life is about. So
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. There'll be a lot of people that are very appreciative of you doing that tonight. So thank you.
And, of course, I took a bit of a belting from Pat Dangerfield, who... now, Pat had a crack at me...
on the radio?
On the radio. Join the queue if you want to have a belt at me. I think it stops at Ballarat, if you know where Ballarat is. But, Pat, please, if you're going to have a go at me for being not understanding the political correctness of the era we live in, don't call me old. I don't mind if you call me old, but that's an ageist comment, and it reflects badly on people in the workforce who are my age, who are still hanging on to a job. You said the only people or person you watch on this show is this woman here. That is sexist in itself. And so let's be consistent. So instead of coming on here like a perfumed dwarf, coming on here like a perfumed dwarf and thinking that if you act like a ventriloquist's dummy, that'll cut the mustard here, it won't. So I'm inviting you, if you want to have a go at me or say something to me, come and sit on that desk there and do it to my face. I am inviting you to do that. And finally, I know I will regret saying those things in the morning, so I'm apologising in advance. Much the same as you did after you made those comments and you apologised the next day.
Just on that, and well spoken at the start. We disagree with Patrick's view of you, but we respect absolutely his view of what happened, and he's representing the players, so I think that's well and good. All we would say is we contributed to this last week, Sam. We're all in this together.
No, you didn't.
We're part of the team. We're the footy show.
We're in this together. We are learning our craft at the same time as you've done this for 25 years. We've got to be stronger and more self-aware in these situations, so we apologise to the football community as well. And I would just say about Sam Beck, and I'm sure you'd echo this.
Please.
Hang on a minute.
I don't mind.
Just hang on, Sam. Please.
This man has got a wonderful heart. He does a lot of things for a lot of people. He means no ill harm of anyone. And it was a poor choice of words. He's copped it on the chin. But for all those critics out there who want to line up and have a go at this man and this show and his contribution to television, he's not going anywhere. This show's not going anywhere. And strap yourself in for the second half of the year because it's going to be on PRO.
You're being targeted a lot this week, and you're an actual target down at the Gulf City driving range in Ballarat. This is legit. This is serious. You can actually hit off and try and hit the foss. And they're even letting idiots like this one in to have a shot. Here we go. Look at this down there today, having a hit in Ballarat. Beautiful Ballarat. And I tell you what, take that, foss. I'm on Paddy Dangerfield's side. Don't worry about that.
They're very clever in Ballarat. They're very clever in Ballarat.
As long as I'm getting...
Get down there. It's $9 a barrel of balls or a bucket of balls. You get down there, you can have shots at all sorts of things.
As long as I'm giving someone on this planet some enjoyment for doing something to me.
You do.
Let's get into the panel. It's great to have Alex and Sean in tonight. Well done, boys. What superstars they are of the competition too. A tough one tonight, Alex. The 4-week ban tonight that the AFL Appeals Tribunal has brought down on Basher. What's your view of that?
Yeah, I just got notified of that out the back myself, that it's now 4 weeks. And it's unfortunate because Basher is such a top calibre man, and I actually told him he should have brought Jake King to the tribunal with him because that would have, he's had a fair few run-ins with the law, and he probably would look like an angel standing next to him. But the PM, I guess, does have a bit more punch than Jake King will.
Do you think that's the right ban in the end, 4 weeks?
I guess it's the AFL's call, if it's the right call or not. I won't give my opinion. I'll get myself in any hot water from that perspective, but the AFL has the right to make whatever statements they like.
Well, Basher Hawley spoke a short time ago outside the AFL Appeals Tribunal.
Decision's been made, and I accept it. Point number 2, my concern is and always has been for Jed, and I hope he recovers really quick. The other thing is that we move on with life, and I'll do my best to help the team prepare for the next few games. Thanks.
Thank you, Basher.
Now, good on you, Basher.
We dispute how he's handled it all week, Shane.
Yeah, he's been an awesome player and a wonderful role model. But using Malcolm Turnbull, he loves his AFL. He's right into it. He's a devoted fan. Here he is on radio talking about his beloved side.
I have to confess, I support in Australian rules the Roosters.
Yeah.
Come on, Malcolm.
Sam, dare I ask you, what did you think of Malcolm Turnbull getting involved in as a character?
What did you think of the whole situation? We went from 2 to 4. It probably should have been 4 to start with. We could have avoided all of this, do you think?
Well, you will please understand this is not personal with Basher or the Richmond Football Club. They did what they should do. They used every mechanical means to get their player off. But my word, it is very lucky we arrived at the decision we did. The tribunal, almost guilty of disgraceful political expediency, and what the relevance of getting the head of a political party and a commentator on SBS to give character reference to is beyond me. What those two people would have to do with our game and its constitution and rules has got me stuffed, and thank heavens
in the end,
we arrived at the right decision. 4 weeks you might think is stringent, but if you have a look at some of the other things that people are getting rubbed out for, it's probably the white whack, no pun intended.
In the end, though, Sam, it was a win for the system. Richmond did what it should have done, and then the AFL had the courage to do what it should have done.
Well, what about the tribunal? Where did they fit in?
Well, they have got the power of the rules to make that call.
They were a disgrace. They bent to political expediency. They should be ashamed of themselves.
I think it was a people's decision too. I reckon social media really got things going because, you know, they really stood up for themselves. And I think the AFL actually listened to the people. It's the people's game. So I think that was really important.
All right. Well, Basher Hooley won't be playing for 4 weeks, and that was the decision handed down about an hour ago. So, Alex, we move on to another topic, and that is you, my friend, because you have been playing brilliant football this year, and all the experts are debating whether you, my friend, are the greatest defender in history. How are you feeling about that tag? Don't just shake your head there.
There's so many players that are way above me. I wouldn't even make the A4 list.
Who would you put above you?
Darren Glass, Liam Jones. He played pretty well a couple of weeks ago. No, that's no disrespect to Liam Jones. He's actually had a very good month of footy. But yeah, I appreciate the compliment, but I definitely. That wasn't
me. It was the experts that said that. No,
but you told it to me before, though, Beck. You know, I know you're a big fan.
What the experts are also talking about, though, is some of your actions in the games in the past few weeks, and that is staging for free kicks, Alex. If we see how I butter you up, and then I move to this topic now.
Dancing.
Yeah, you sucked me into this one, didn't you?
Yeah. Okay, and then I think we've got the buddy one coming up.
Alex.
Is it force it?
How do you feel watching that, Alex?
If the umpire doesn't call you out in cricket, are you going to walk? So it's similar.
Well, some people do.
Similar premise. Some people do. I wouldn't. But
it's good that we cleared that up.
yeah.
You think it's a skill to get away with staging?
Oh, I don't really classify what I did with staging. I copped a pretty good one early from Buddy, so I thought I was due one. A free kick, I mean. But, no, like, I probably did go down a little bit soft, but it's not staging, it's all in the game, I guess.
I'm amazed with it because you've gone over so easy, but you've got a body like this, so big and so strong. Look at that.
Oh, no.
That is muscle on muscle and... That is nothing but hair.
That's clip it.
Yeah, we can...
You've clipped it. Yeah. You bloody punt. A nipple cruncher, you get.
Nipple cruncher.
Now,
Man's got to know his limitations, Sam.
what was going on there? Why were you two with
Bit of
your
bonding
shirts off?
time during the week.
We were in the steam room together, Shane. We were steaming.
He had a pretty tough week last week, so I thought I'd take him under my wing. We'd just go have a bit of a massage together, chill out.
Gave him a massage?
I'm worried about you two.
We had side by side, Sam and I. Just
We went to his academy.
had some massages.
We're going to show, we're going to show you more of that a little later on in the show.
Oh,
We are indeed. One of the superstars.
Tell me, Shane, what's the alternate answer to that? What would you like him to do? What do you reckon Sean's going to say? Well, I'd
Sean's
like him
very
to
honest.
stop.
He'll tell us exactly
What
what
do
he
you
thinks.
say? You reckon Sean say, I think he should
Very,
stop,
very
and I hope
honest.
he does.
Yeah, Sean was the reason behind Sammy Mitchell and Jordan Lewis being moved on, you know, very honest, straight down the line.
You're reminding me of Patrick Dangerfield. Say something of substance, man.
Let's get into the...
Leave Paddy alone, please.
Let's get into the footy.
alone.
All forwards on his
Side, don't worry about
Parkinson
that.
skills. It's Melbourne and Sydney to launch around on Friday night. How big's this going to be? Swans in red hot form, surging into the 8th. Melbourne got a couple of injuries, and the two great clubs collide on Friday night, the big time. Good luck to young White, who gets an opportunity for the Demons this game. Wagner into the side as well. Garland will be a big out against the Sydney Swans, who get back by pace of Jones, the experience of McVeigh, 2 changes. We believe Alex Johnson's some chance too to go around in the reserves this weekend, which if that happens would be a remarkable story for an inspirational young man. He's very close this week or next. But the big story here is Jack Viney. What a game he played last week, Alex. He's taking himself to a whole new level. Yeah, he certainly is stepping up in that leadership role that he's thrust himself upon. The person that I really loved in his performance last week was Tom McDonald. Defender turned forward and he kicked the winning goal. So he was very impressive for mine. I think the Sydney Swans are going to get it done.
Interesting to note that Melbourne haven't beaten the Swans since around 2010. So that's a 7-year gap there between wins against the Swans. So, yeah, I think they're playing some really good footy. I think they're going to get the job done at MCG.
Great to see Max Gawn back last week. I think he's the only ruckman that pretty much can hit to every number on the clock, which I think is a massive advantage around the stoppages and boundary throw-ins.
And didn't look like he missed a game either, did he?
No, he was on fire. I think Melbourne will definitely make the grand final this year. I really do. And that's why I think they're going to win. I think they'll win.
Make the grand final, Prof.
I do, I really do. I just think they've got such a wonderful mix. I think Max Gawn is a real advantage when he's up and about. And I just think MCG, Demons getting the support of their crowd and really believing in themselves like over the last few weeks. Look out, the Demons are coming.
Well, Melbourne may get to the grand final, but it'll be only after the Swans beat them on the weekend.
Yeah, I've got to take my mind back to the Sydney Swans. Their celebrations in the room after that narrow, what was it, 1-point victory over Essendon was quite incredible. So I reckon the Swans are away. So the Swans for a win.
Interesting to see them the favourites in that game too at the MCG. It'll be an absolute beauty. How good's footy been over the last few weeks? Well, speaking of money, it'll be a very big night for 2 young men, an 18-year-old and a 19-year-old. Telstra's Footy Smarts competition has run for 5 weeks here. $50,000 up for grabs in the final tonight. Let's take a look at the journey over the last month and a bit.
6 weeks ago, the Footy Show began the search to find Australia's smartest footy fan. What started with 500 footy nerds soon became a top 5, who would each take on Quizmaster Hutchie for the chance to win $50,000. First out of the blocks, Daniel O'Brien. Back in 2003, he finished runner-up in the Footy Show's Mastermind quiz. 14 years on, unfortunately, no such luck. That opened the door for Rory O'Neill, still in school and not long out of nappies. This boy wonder shocked us all to take the early clubhouse lead. Stuart Knight followed. A self-proclaimed Mark Wahlberg lookalike, Dogger, moved into second before the Macedonian marvel Nick Karpouzis too fell short. And last week, it was our final Footy Smarts contestant's turn, Dylan Ballarin. What a moment it was. Out of nowhere, Dylan's stunning 17 out of 20 saw him skyrocket to the top of the table. So tonight, the stage is set for one almighty final. St Kilda tragic Dylan Ballarin up against 18-year-old Rory O'Neill. The stakes are massive. $50,000 on the line. We'll find out very soon who has the greatest footy smarts.
We're down to 2 footy nerds. Here they are here. We've got Rory, we've got Dylan. Now, Rory, what are you going to do with $50,000 cash if you win?
I'll probably save some up for uni fees. And
yes.
Maybe...
Splash it out, have a big party. Bring me along and we'll get in the spa together, Ross.
I'm not a party guy.
Oh, no. What about Loretta? Here's your mum here. She's been a great support, Red. How are you feeling? How's the Rosa been?
He's been really good, Bill. Yeah, steady head. I've been trying to absorb all the anxiety for the family and I think I'm doing a good job of that.
Very good.
But, yeah, they're very worthy opponents, so I hope they
So you're 18?
well.
Yeah, and Dylan, you're not 19, you're 20 today. Happy birthday!
Cheers, Bill. Thanks a lot,
How are you feeling, mate? You confident?
Well, I just heard Loretta say that Rory's been really good, calm, composed. I'm shitting myself, mate.
That's all we want. What are you going to do with 50 grand?
Well, I'm not one to think far ahead, but I don't know, maybe travel somewhere. I think today's weather really reminded me how bad Melbourne is at the moment. So maybe Adelaide, that's a pretty good option down there. Nah, I wouldn't go there.
Nah, of course you would. Now, we're going to have a coin toss. We're going to have a coin toss. And to toss a coin is the biggest tosser in the house, Now, because you're our winner, you got 17, you only got 16, I think. So you're going to call heads or tails, and then you can bat or bowl. You can actually... you can go first or second in the competition, all right? So, Sam, you got the coin?
Has anyone got a coin? No, I've got a coin. They've asked me 8 times if I've got a coin.
What do you want? What?
Now, we need this verified. I shouldn't have picked a woman out. I'll be accused
No,
of...
you're allowed to pick a woman out.
Hang on. So, Dylan's gone with...
Tails?
Tails.
Well, wait till I toss it and then
Check the
call.
coin.
And then I'll put my foot on it and this charming lady will say what it is.
Righto.
What now? Call when I do it.
Tails.
He put his foot on. Right. What is it?
Tails.
Tails.
Well done.
Today, Dylan, a big one.
Yeah, I think I might bat second, mate. I think I
Second.
might put Rory up first.
Shake hands.
Well done, boys.
Here we go. Oh, beautiful.
Rory's up first and Dylan's up second. Two contrasts. Wish them both luck tonight. It'll be unbelievable. Telstra Footy
Can't
Smarts.
wait.
Pressure's on. Right, big show ahead. Stick around. That's still to come. Joe Watson's still to come. But up next, Barry Hall and Brent Staker for the first time, face to face. You do not want to miss it on the Footy Show.
Hall off the balls. Oh! Barry Hall has whacked behind play. That is ridiculous, Barry Hall. He has smacked Staker in the head, and he will be reported. I saw that, and it was completely undisciplined. It was a left hand. Staker stood down. It was a left hook, and it was a very cheap shot off the ball, I have to say. He's let himself down completely there, Barry Hall. That is the sort of thing that we thought was out of his game.
I think we're all looking at one another just thinking, we just can't believe we saw that.
Ruse talking to Barry Hall. I've got to say, Bear looks upset. Do you think he looks genuinely upset? I think he's starting to perhaps hit home what's happened.
It was football's most infamous punch of the last decade, and Barry Hall himself last week, when inducted into the AFL Hall of Fame, put it back on the agenda again when he spoke about his regret at that punch and what Brent Staker had to live with post that day. It turns out they've never met face-to-face since that famous or infamous incident, and in a Footy Show exclusive, Damien Barrett this week reunites Barry Hall and Brent Staker to clear the air on what happened on that now famous day.
Brent Staker, Barry Hall, 9.5 years after the big moment. What's it like, Brent? I'll start with you, to be in the company of Barry today.
Good question to start off with. I don't think we've ever had the chance to even come across each other while I was playing, even while you're in the media. So, yeah, look, it's... for the first couple of seconds sitting down here, it's a bit of a shock, but we're just two men going about our business now, life after footy.
I certainly wouldn't have been how he was. I would have been a lot more bitter because, you know, what I did is not great. You know, he said it was a part of footy, which it isn't. It's not a part of footy. It's, it was a low act and something that he shouldn't have to live through now. And I spoke about that Hall of Fame night. That bothers me a little bit now.
Now, I know it might be a bit difficult to do so, but could I just get you to have a look at the incident again, please, if that's all right?
As Hall off the balls. Oh! Barry Hall has whacked behind play. That is ridiculous, Barry Hall. He has smacked Staker in the head.
Is that uneasy for you to watch, Barry?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable for me to sit here next to him and watch that, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Is it uncomfortable for you, Brent?
A little bit, yeah.
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 I know you said in the past that your mates sort of had YouTubed it and Googled it and you had seen it on the back of that, but had you sought to see it before?
Oh, no, look, the world of social media, there's always it bobs up when you least expect it, you know, or nowadays all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, you come across it here and there. I don't actively look to show anybody, clearly, but yeah, it just somehow finds you every now and then. I mean, to watch that first time sit next to Barry, it's a bit of a shock.
There was an ugly aftermath, wasn't there? I mean, you had the tribunal hearing itself, you got the 7 weeks, the families got involved. Members of your family called Barry, I think the quote was a weak mongrel. Your side of the family put it back on your club even, about not being the greatest role model. So it got ugly, didn't it, in the days afterwards?
Yeah, look, I mean, my parents, they live in Broken Hill, a little bit isolated, and they wear their heart on the sleeve. They're that kind of family. They reacted in the moment, and maybe it's just a natural reaction to every parent, just because it's happened so quick, and you know, maybe just seeing my eyes roll back in my head was probably scared them. So, you know, I chat with them about it. We watched a show recently on TV which involved Barry and some other sports stars talking about life after sport, and you know, we had some good discussion as a family about that, and you know, they're all on the same page as me. They're all moved on.
Can I just get you to articulate, if you can, how having your son now is making you reflect upon differently with what you did with Brent?
Well, one thing it's sort of overcome me a little bit is how protective I am of my little boy. And he's only 7 weeks old, but you know, my world revolves around him. So it takes me of how Brent's parents would have thought. And you spoke about the families colliding and all that sort of stuff, and rightly so. They should have said that, because everything they said was true.
I mean, being called a weak mongrel,
What can I say about that? It's true. I actually had a falling out with my family over, they're not very media savvy, and they got baited, and they stuck up for me. So I actually had a falling out over them, just to be quiet.
In supporting you?
Yeah. You don't need to. I've done the wrong thing. Let's try and move on. So, yeah, there's been some challenges.
You've patched that up now?
Absolutely, yeah. Just that protective thing with my little boy now has sort of reverted me back to what Brent's dad would think, and yeah, it makes it a bit real.
When you see it again, is there a fear that it could have been a whole lot worse and you actually could have, you know, killed Brent?
Yeah, absolutely could have been worse. You know, there's the one-punch thing getting around now in society, and it happens every weekend. It has to stop, because it's dangerous. It bothers me the kids have to watch that as well, because it's, you know, young kids who have followed my career and looked up to me shouldn't have to watch that.
When you look back on that time, do you have a greater clarity on the why you did what you did to Brent that night?
Not really. Probably the best therapy I've done is accept responsibility for it, rather than, because what we do in society now is make excuses or blame someone else. I was actually glad we're doing this today, because I want to show people that if you do something like that, you need to man up and look a bloke in the eye and tell him that, you know, it's not acceptable, and that I am thinking of what he goes through now.
Just on yourself, Brent, does it worry you, or does it concern you that you are known, as Barry suggested, probably more for the incident with him than anything else you did on a footy field?
Yeah, look, I've come to terms with it. I know that it's going to be the one incident that I remember before. There's been other moments. I know of all the moments in my head that I had some good moments on the footy field. But yeah, you know, last year playing footy in the Queensland State League up here, so the amateur level just below NEFL level. Yeah, that was probably the most I've heard about it and copped it. So,
do you think you'll ever get a chance to have people think of you differently?
Yeah, I guess now, and I'm certainly not getting a violin out for myself, but I've done a lot of great things in my career, but I always get remembered for that incident, and it's just made me think about what Brent has to live through now. You know, he's been a fair player himself, and even people, society, they're ruthless. And I can just imagine what he goes through, and that bothers me a bit. It does. Yeah, and I can't do anything about that now. It's something that, as I said before, I've remembered for that now. I thought I was an okay player, but I don't really get remembered for that. But it reverts to what he goes through now, and that bothers me more than anything.
Does it affect you every day, Brent? Is it something that comes up every day in your life?
I'm certainly associated with it. That's the thing. If people don't know who I am, they'll either YouTube it or it'll come up in conversation at some point. Was it the beginning of the end of your time at the Swans, Barry, just with what happened that year? I know you had another year before you did leave and go to the Bulldogs, but was it the beginning of the end?
Yeah, it definitely was. I was frustrated with the way the Swans played their footy. You know, we played a slow brand of football, and you know, we had a pretty good forward line at that stage, so I'm saying get it in quick, but, you know, proof's in the pudding, we're winning games, and I was just trying to make us better.
Does it build up to that moment in round 4?
Yeah, no, and it doesn't excuse what happened. I'm certainly not making excuses, but I was frustrated.
You're hearing Brent's talk, and even, 10 minutes ago you said that you'd be different too. Can you believe how he's been with this, Barry? The way he's taken it. And
Yeah. He's been really good. Yeah. As I said, I wouldn't have been so warming. I think it just shows what sort of character he is, and he's clearly not holding grudges, and is more about educating others rather than worrying about himself.
It sounds like you've got an acceptance of it now. Is that fair to say?
Oh, look, I do. It's 9.5 years ago. I know it's the first time we've been in the same room and chatted about it, and clearly it, bothers Barry still a little bit because you've got the son, and you can sort of see that how in future. And look, when I have kids, maybe my son will say what happened there, so I've got to face that down the track. I think it's good that we've chatted. I think it's good that you call it burying the hatchet, that you can talk about that incident openly and honestly.
And is there anything you want to say to Barry while we're finishing up this chat?
Off the top of my head, I just think...
If there's not, don't.
Yeah, I was just going to say, look, mate, I'm really good about it. I appreciate the, making the effort to come here today and chat to me about it. I think the incident is, it was probably worse for you, clearly, but move on. You're a dad now. You've got to be a proud father. You've got the little man. I think all that stuff's a great time in your life to go ahead and don't let this sit over your head and ruin all those good times. I think it'll be fine.
Anything back to Brent? Barry?
Oh, it's just good to come here today, so I want to thank you for coming, because it's helped me quite a bit. As I said, I was only guessing what you went through, so to actually sit here and listen to what you do go through from day to day and how comfortable you are with it is a credit to you, because it was a confronting thing, and it's something you shouldn't have to deal with as a football player. So I was going to say it was a one-off incident, but it wasn't. It's something that continually happened through my career. But if I could take it back, I certainly would. I apologise on the phone to you, but as I said, if I could take it back, I certainly would 1,000 times over.
Yep. Thanks.
Too good.
There you go. That was the handshake there that buried the hatchet. Well done to Damien Barrett for getting Barry Hall and Brent Staker together in a room. Let's just say they did both want to do that, and I think that was very therapeutic for everybody involved for them to bury the hatchet. And so it got us sort of thinking about who you would like at home or on the panel, guys, that have had a long-running stoush. Who would you like to get in a room together so they could bury the hatchet? Croft, you got any ideas?
Maybe Hutchie and a cake of soap. No, I don't really have any. Sorry. Have you got any? Who would you like? Who?
Or his hairdresser? Oh, here we go. The obvious one is Kevin Sheedy and Derek Kickett. I think
that's been...
We'd love to see get together.
That has been very topical of late.
Clearly tonight, Sam's taken Paddy Dangerfield's remarks to heart. So
that's
Sam and Paddy.
Yes. Yep, that's it.
Get them in a room.
Come on, Paddy. Come in. Come on down.
They can go fishing together.
The other one
WWE style. WWE style, love to see the Wakeland brothers and Alistair Lynch.
Yep.
That would be a nice one to...
And McLeod and Edwards would be the other one from South Australia, from your
Big feud.
Yep. We'd like to see them get together. Anyway, well done to Barry Hall and Brent Staker and Damien Barrett for that insight. Hawthorn and Collingwood play again this weekend at the MCG.
Again?
It's the second time in about 5 weeks, and the Magpies got them last time. And Hawthorn are just starting to come together, aren't they? They've got another in there with Stratton back in the team, building towards the finals. Well done to Sean Burgoyne, by the way. It becomes the 19th most capped player in AFL history this weekend, with 333 games against the Magpies. We've got some big ends too. Among them, Thomas, if he gets a game, would be a great story after that long ban. And Elliott gets a chance as well. He is the difference at the moment. You love this hairstyle, Becca. I know it's one of your favourites. He's
it's out there, isn't it?
Outrageous too.
Blondes have more fun, Hutch.
And he's playing some great footy, Alex, isn't he?
Yeah, he's certainly channeling his inner Dane Swan there with the sleeves and the blonde hair now, but he definitely straightens them up, which is, it's funny to say for a guy who's probably sub 6 foot, but he does take those strong contested marks, and I think it'll be a really good match, but I reckon the Collingwood Magpies will take it.
We obviously played Collingwood a few weeks ago and we got out to a 6-goal lead and they obviously called us back and overran us, so it's fresh in our minds what we did that game, but we're also coming off a good win as well, so we'll take a bit of confidence into this week's game.
down to Scotty Pendlebury, 250. He's been a marvellous captain, a wonderful leader. And when you win the Norm Smith medal, all you want is the announcer to get your name right. Remember this, Scotty Pendlebury? Norm Smith.
The winner of the Norm Smith medal for 2010 is Scott Emberby from Collingwood.
He knew who it was.
Who was he? He was a legend. No, good on you, Scott. Was it? All the
It was
best.
Arnold Brightus here, making a little blue there.
We all make mistakes, don't we? I've never made one, but we all make mistakes.
How many games can you get to, Croft? Well done to Scotty Pendlebury, by the way, 250 games. He's a fitness machine, isn't he?
He's a Rolls Royce, yeah. Just he seems like he's got so much time, doesn't he, when he's playing? But I reckon he could definitely get 350 almost.
350?
Yeah, well, he's very fit, always looks after himself. I want to know, Sam, who would you bury the hatchet with?
Well, first of all, I'd like to punch you so hard that you probably...
Oh, no, you don't want to.
I would like to punch him so hard you probably...
Which wife? Wife 1, 2, 3.
And then I can assure you we wouldn't have a conversation like Barry.
No, who would you like to see bury the hatchet?
Well, I don't know.
You don't hold a grudge, though.
Not at all, no. If Patrick will come on here, you know, the poster boy for politically righteous. If you'd like to come on here, I'll accommodate him.
Don't ever go at one of the best players in the competition, please.
He's a good man.
He's a very good man.
Very good man.
Who are you tipping, Becca? Or Mindy, as Sam's now calling you?
Yeah, why are you calling
Mork and Mindy, yeah.
Why are you calling us Mork and Mindy?
Oh, well, you were like a chorus there. I started going, he said, now we're going to another show.
What did Mork used to say? Nanu.
Who did you tip, stupid?
I didn't tip anyone, because I'm not sure.
Oh, come on, just make a decision.
I think because Collingwood won about 4 weeks ago, I think the Hawks are going to win.
Have you tipped someone?
Collingwood were... you were 51 points up on Collingwood, weren't you? Well, you said 6 goals.
Yeah.
That's not 51 points. That's 36 points.
36, I said, yeah.
36?
36, yeah. 6 goals.
Weren't you 51 points to them too?
No. 36 points.
36.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
What's
well,
happening?
I reckon Hawthorn will win.
What is this?
Okay, after all of that,
where are you going?
We have talked a lot about Jamie Elliott. He does make a huge difference to the side. Only he can probably kick about 3 or 4, but he also settles that forward line as well, and they all play better around him. So, going off the back of that, I'm going the Pine. Sorry. Okay, we're going to take a very short break on the Footy Show now. We'll be back with one of Essendon's favourite sons, Joe Watson, after the break.
Tonight on the Footy Show, one teenage genius will take home 50,000 big ones in the final of our Telstra Footy Smarts competition. Will it be Dylan or Rory? It really is a toss of the coin. The fossil gets put through his paces by Alex Rance at his new academy. What do you reckon, Dimmer? Why were the coaches kept waiting outside the CEO's house during the week? We closely examine the scandal that is Gill's Gate. I'd be excited too if I was a coach. Later on, we put our panel to the ultimate test of skill in loose handball. And coming up next, Joe Watson is back at the Footy Show with a very special announcement for an inspirational family. Good on you, Joby, tonight on the Footy Show.
Welcome back to the Footy Show. Thanks to our wonderful partners, Home Timber and Hardware, go where the tradies go. Chemist Warehouse, the home of real brands and real savings. Telstra, stream it live, fast and data-free. Download the mobile app today. And our wonderful friends, of course, at Sportsbet, who are dominating at the moment and doing great things each and every weekend in the world of AFL. Let's head out into the audience. And Becca, you've got a very special story to tell tonight.
Yeah, I do. Thank you very much, Hutchie. Well, long-time Footy Show viewers will remember this really heartwarming story that we brought to you back in 2012. It was the moment when a young boy came onto set. His name was Sean Miller, and he got to meet his hero from the Essendon Football Club, Joe Watson. Now, Sean, at the time, was actually battling a terminal heart condition. He battled for a long, long time, and he was so incredibly brave. I think he had 3 hearts in his chest over the journey. Now, tonight, I have Sean's dad, Cam, at the table here tonight, and also Joe Watson, who was involved in that story, and also Sam Newman down the end. But, sadly, to you tonight. We are missing one pretty special person, and that is Sean. Can you tell us what happened? I believe it was just a couple of weeks after he came on the Footy Show. What happened to Sean?
Yeah, Beck was... Sean came onto the football show and basically, sadly, 2 weeks later he passed away. So, yeah.
Job, you were part of that really special moment in Footy Show history, and everyone remembers that story so well. Now knowing, we didn't know obviously at the time, the timeline and how long Sean would have left. What does it mean for you that a young boy got to meet his hero just 2 weeks before he sadly passed away?
I think, 5 years has gone by, and I was saying to Cameron before, I watched the video that Sean posted. I think there's over 6 million people who have watched it, and in that he talks about the footprint that people can leave. And if you think about it, 5 years, and we're talking about Sean and what he meant in such a short time on this earth, and what he actually did, and how impactful he was. And it's humbling to be sitting here and thinking about a young boy that just loved footy and what footy can do for people, and how passionate he was about the Essendon Football Club. And you realise about how short life is for all of us, and how important some of the things are, and how much you can do in a short time, and that's what Sean's did.
Job, you mentioned that video, and we're going to play a little bit of it for you. As you mentioned, 6 million people have seen it on YouTube. It was watched from all people around the world. It was quite incredible. It is very emotional, and he made this video. Have a look.
I have chronic heart rejection, and I won't be here for as long as I thought. I do ask all my friends to make sure my dad will be okay. I will miss you guys so much. I love you all.
The impact that video made has been phenomenal.
It
How
has.
is it watching for you still?
It's the first time I've watched it for about 2 years.
Is it?
Yeah. I just can't watch it,
And as much courage as Sean had over the journey, you were just saying before we came on that to come onto the Footy Show itself required an extraordinary amount of resolve and fortitude and courage itself, because he had to remove... You just tell that story.
When Sean found that he was coming on the football show, he said to Dad, look, he said, I know I'm sick and I'm going to die, but I'm not going on the Footy Show as a sick kid. So he walked into the Children's Hospital and he said, I want the PICC line that comes out of my arm to the heart, I want to take it out. I'm not going on the show as a kid. We got to the show and he couldn't walk from, say, here to the end of that table away without stopping, breathing. So I still don't know how he jumped up on the stage and did what he did. It was amazing. It was extraordinary. I don't know how he did it.
He was phenomenal. Now, the reason that we are all here tonight, you've been working very hard for a number of years on this, and you are launching a foundation in his honour. Is that right? Tell us about it and how we can help.
Okay, I've been working behind the scenes. It's been 3 years in the making, this foundation. It's called the Sean Miller Foundation, and we're aligned with the Victor Chang Cardiac Research Institute to find a cure, what killed Sean, which was called CHD, congenital heart disease. And people don't understand, with congenital heart disease, 8 babies are born with this a day, and 4 sadly pass away every week. And in the last 10 years, I know from talking to parents that have called me up personally, the amount of kids that have died, whether it's babies, teenagers, whatever, it could fill the MCG. Easy. Easy.
Okay. So we need everybody out there to support your foundation, and congratulations on all your hard work. There is something else that is happening that has been in the making for a number of years, and that is there is a movie going to be made about...
Before I go to the movie, I've got to thank a lot of people.
No, I understand, sure.
I've got to thank my chairman over here, that's Sam Pavano, board member. Alan Finney, who came on board when I asked him about it. Alan Finney's a very busy man. He's a director of Ozflix, and he's the chairman of the Academy Awards with Nicole Kidman, Russell Crowe, Jeffrey Rush, Kate Blanchett. He's a very busy man himself. He came on board straight away. Zane Durrani here, that was Sean's personal trainer, mixed martial artist and natural healer. He helped Sean deal with his impending death. So that man there was amazing. So with the foundation, with the foundation, I want to make it very clear. With the foundation, we're giving 80% all of our money to Victor Chang Institute. 20% will be going to camps, concerts. And another thing I learnt being in the hospital with Sean, these kids come out of hospital and there's no life skills for them. I remember we had one kid over our house and he couldn't even boil a kettle. So we're going to do life skills and create a good environment for these kids.
Fantastic.
So, and another person, last person I've got to thank is Yvonne Nicholas, an ambassador, beautiful lady. She came to Sean's funeral and a lot of this wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for Yvonne Nicholas, and I can't thank her enough. Can't thank her enough.
We understand all that. Fabulous. So I just mentioned that there is going to be a movie, and I believe Shane Jacobson is going to play you, and don't take this the wrong way, but I can see why he's been cast to play you. Job, who do you reckon should play you in the film? Ryan Gosling or someone?
No,
you know,
I don't.
I've
been told I look a bit like Bear Grylls, so I'm not sure if I can. There you go.
So I've got two more important people to thank. I've got James Vernon, who produced the Academy Award-winning film Hacksaw Ridge.
Yep.
He's producing Sean's film.
Fantastic.
And I know he's going to honour Sean's legacy and memory. And Cal Dolan, our director here, is going to honour Sean's memory and legacy. I know that deep down. It's been a while since we've been putting this film together, but I know these two men here are going to honour Sean's legacy.
We can't wait. It is going to be a fantastic film. I believe it's called Awesome Ride. Now, Joe, while we have got you...
One person we forgot, the kid that's playing Sean. His name is Gulliver McGrath.
Okay.
He's been in films with Spielberg. He's been in Dark Shadows with Johnny Depp. He's a fantastic actor.
We'll look forward to that.
Watch out for him.
OK. Now, we've got Job here, so we've got to talk a little bit of footy while he's here. Thank you very much, Cameron. Job, now we had Brendan Goddard on Classified on Monday night. From the outside, there's a lot of people out there that saying you're not enjoying your footy, but he guarantees us you've never enjoyed the footy more in your life. How's it feel? You're all back together playing, and you're playing some good footy as well.
Yeah, I am. I'm not enjoying it as much as I enjoyed making coffee, but I am still. I'm enjoying being back, and the young guys. You know, the silver lining for us not being there, they had the exposure that they had, and they've invigorated the older guys. And you know, it's a different club to what it was, and I think that a lot of supporters are enjoying watching the team play, and they can see the excitement that the group is having. Yeah.
They are indeed. So are the fans.
Now, Job, we are not going to the old chestnuts like the Brownlow, and how have you handled the last 4 years spiritually, mentally and physically? We're not going there, so don't worry about that. What we do want to know is that, I know you said it with your tongue in cheek, would you rather be a barista in Portugal or would you like to go another year, form and injury notwithstanding? No, don't say you're thinking, well, I know you don't give us the stock answer. Are you likely to be going on, do you think, or are you just thinking this might be it?
No, I mean, I will go back. I'm going back in October. I've got a cafe over there, hole in the wall, so I'll go back over there and be making some coffees for some people. But
seriously?
Yeah, seriously, I'll be over there, and I am enjoying playing, and I think that it'll be how the team is going and how I'm going. But I am enjoying playing again. Yeah.
All right, that's a good enough answer. Please put your hands together for Joe Watson for coming on the Footy Show. It's been terrific to see you. Cameron, thank you very much. Best of luck with the foundation. The Footy Show audience is very generous, so we'll get behind it and keep an eye out for Awesome Ride, a new film as well. Hutchie, back to you.
Well told, Becca, and well done to the Miller family again and the Sean Miller Foundation. Get around. What a wonderful cause it'll be, and an inspiration from an inspiring dad. And to Joe Watson, we thank you for coming in as well. Let's talk some footy. It's the Western Bulldogs this weekend who host the West Coast Eagles at Etihad Stadium. This will be a cracker. Will the real Dogs please stand up? They were better last week. Bob Murphy is a big story here. He's back in the Bulldog team. We'll take a look at that in a moment. Liberatore out with a corky against the West Coast, who we need to figure out what they're capable of on the road as well. The West Coast Eagles. What a litmus test this will be. 2 of these 3 times they played have been less than single digits, and Wellingham comes into the side in Maston, so they are strength in the West Coast. They've got a point to prove in Melbourne, no doubt, but it's well timed that Bob Murphy's back in the team, Alex.
Yeah, he's one of my favourite leaders in the competition, Bob Murphy. He's got a great sense of charisma, and I think he really brings that Dogs team together and really sets them up off the half-back line. I reckon the West Coast Eagles are going to get it done.
I'll have to go against Rancy here. The Dogs so far this year won 5 from 6 games at Etihad, so they know how to play the game there. They play it really fast and really quick, so I'm going to tip the Dogs.
I agree with you, Sean. I think they were scratchy last week, but they found a way to win. They're a wonderful team. I just think some consistency with not having so many come in and out is really going to help them in the second half of the season, and I think the Dogs will win and go on and play.
Sam, who are you tipping?
What do you think, Sam?
What?
What do you think?
Well, I was about to tell you what I think.
Right.
I didn't need you to prompt me about what do I think. He said, who am I tipping?
I thought you'd fallen asleep.
Well, I don't think the West Coast Eagles enjoy playing on Etihad at all, and I don't think they take it seriously. So, as a...
What do you mean don't take it seriously?
Well, the last
They're
time they
fighting to
turned
keep
up
their
there, I don't think they
spot in the
scored,
eight.
did they? What?
They're fighting to keep their spot in the eight.
They disregard Etihad, they don't play finals on it, and they don't like coming over here. So the Western Bulldogs, because the
It's ironical, is it? Or the irony?
Just ironic.
Ironic?
You said that last
I know,
week.
terrible, terrible flaw of mine. That Schofield's out of the team anyway, injured, Sam, after the week.
That is an irony, considering... I tell you what, the tribunal and the match is so conflicted and contrived. Here's a man who I think was pinged for hardly anything and got given 2 weeks. Now, do you know why he was given 2 weeks? Because you can't give someone a week. Because if you are given a week and then say, well, I'll cop a week, I'll plead to that, then they reduce it by a week and you actually get off. So there's no such thing as a week penalty.
We're going to play it. Here we go.
Yeah.
It was on Clayton Oliver who hit the deck.
So how this is why the game becomes a bit of a laughing stock. That incident there between Parker and Bagley didn't even raise an eyebrow. He got fined $1,000 in the end. But that first one, how anyone who is connected with football and has played the game, or even just as a supporter, could watch that first incident and arrive at that decision is staggering. There is something going on that we don't know about. There is honestly...
Conspiracy theory,
There
you
is
think?
something going on.
OK, I'm not into the conspiracy theory. I'm going the Dogs.
Next going the Dogs. Let's have a look at the Giants against the Cats. This shapes a big one on the weekend as well, on Saturday night. Wow. Stevie J against his old team. The Giants airborne at the moment. They've got talent to burn. They get Kelly back. They get Lobb back. And they get Smith back. Can you believe that? They run into the Cats, who will have a point to prove on the road. They've lost 4 players in this game. That's Scott Selwood out of the team. Joel Selwood has been named. So too has Patrick Dangerfield, who's expecting his first child this weekend, which will be interesting as well. We wish him luck with that. Joel Selwood, a big story. What about the courage of this man, Alex, from last weekend?
Yeah, he's a super tough no. I think it's becoming obviously really well publicised about head injuries this year and over the past few years, but I think it has to be a mandatory 1 week off because...
So you don't think you should be allowed to play this weekend?
I don't think so.
So he jogged off the field, Alex.
Yeah, but you've only got one brain, Beck.
That is true.
And it doesn't grow back.
That's
so
true.
You kind of need it for later. And like he is obviously one of the hardest nuts going around, and he would play with one leg hanging off. And there's no doubt about that. But
the Cats have flagged that they intend to play him this weekend, and that's an interesting comment of yours that you think all players should get 1 week, because not many clubs are really applying that now, are they?
I think if it's a blanket rule, then it makes it easier for everyone that those players that, you know, potentially may be sitting on the borderline, and especially if they're as important as Joel is to the team, it's taken out of their hands to make that decision.
Do you agree with that, Sean?
Yeah, I agree. If you're knocked out cold and you're asleep on the oval, there probably should be a 1 week rest for the whole league. Like you said, you've got one brain, you've got to protect it. It's not now, it's in 20, 15 years' time when you're going to feel those effects.
I don't know, but is there medical evidence to say that if you have the 1 week off that it repairs, or what are we having the 1 week off for?
Well, I think concussions affect different players differently. We all react differently to them, but we've all got one brain each. So you want to protect that for as long as you can.
And at least it gives you a week to get sort of a baseline reading on yourself, because you don't know what the cumulative effects will be. I just got to knock this week, and then it carries on and on and on. So there is that hangover effect where players like Joel may be different to someone else who gets a concussion. So if you get that week...
Have you been concussed?
Oh, yeah, I've been concussed. Yeah, it's not great. I think I had 2 weeks off because I fractured my cheek as well. But it's one of those things that it needs to be a blanket rule. What, Sam? What are you looking at me for like that? Sitting up there like a peaking
I was just looking at you. Yeah, no, it's just you've been concussed, have you? I was just looking at you, that was all. Talking about people with...
I actually failed a
brain
concussion test
What's
and I
that?
wasn't concussed. That's true. That's 100%. I thought, well, if I do get concussed, at least it'll look like I've passed my test. Anyway.
Is that a true story?
That's a true story. I thought, oh, I'll just really mess this up. Anyway, can I just say that I still think GWS are going to win the flag, so they'll win this game against Melbourne.
You're saying GWS will play Melbourne. You said Melbourne will play in the grand final.
Yes. I think they'll win the grand final.
So
Yeah,
they'll play Melbourne.
That's right, exactly right. And can I just say, Chris Scott on the weekend, I thought I was concussed, but no, I'm not. Chris Scott on the weekend, I love when coaches really get animated. Have a look at this. Doesn't matter who you're playing against or how bad the game was, that's excitement, that's the way it should be. I love that.
Is that the other coach's box that he was cheering at?
I don't know who.
No, that's... Do you know what? I sit the other side of that.
He's doing that to you?
No, I was the other side. I wish he did it to me.
It's pretty cool. I like that. Great to see your coaches getting emotional. Samuel.
Football was Shane's second sport. He was going to be an astronaut. The teacher said to his parents, get him out, he's taken up space.
That's very good.
Now...
Who's going to win?
If pitiful Pat Dangerfield...
He'll be on fire this weekend.
...could put all his energy into playing football instead of dribbling on and being a wanker...
No, Sam, we won't have you say that about Patrick Dangerfield. You need... No, don't. That's not nice.
I'm apologising in advance for that.
Don't say that word.
I will regret I said that tomorrow, and I'm sorry, Pat. I'd like to speak to you here, right there where that man is.
We've got to that. Just a tip.
We support Paddy.
And I do too.
Just a tip.
You're a confused old man.
No.
Cats, Giants for you. OK. This is going to be a tough one. Can I just say, Zach Guthrie, the younger brother of Cam Guthrie, is making his debut, and he is a very good player, although this is a very hard match to make your debut in, but you know I'm just going to go the Cats by, I don't know, a couple of points. We're going to take a very short break on the Footy Show. We'll be back with the Footy Smarts Grand Final very shortly.
Footy Show, Telstra Footy Smarts still to come, but let's dive into the Gold Coast home game against the Kangaroos this weekend at Metricon Stadium, Saturday twilight, I should say. And probably the last roll of the dice for the Suns to keep their season alive. Gary Ablett, the big story here. Game 300 for little Gaz. He's in the team. We wish him well for his big milestone. He's made it one of 3 changes against North Melbourne. Cunnington, the big out here, suspended, and Dumont being managed. The Kangaroos will fancy their chances here, but I reckon it's almost a mini elimination final for these two teams in an even season. Alex?
Obviously a big milestone match with Stephen May playing his 100th game, so they want to get the win for Big Stephen. But also the little champ and the GOAT, Gaz, playing his 300th as well. He's been a super player for so long. I think they'll get up to him.
He's been a super player. He's walking to the 300 club this weekend. Last time they played, he had 45 touches and kicked about 3 goals, his best on. And one of the players I love watching is Adam Sard. I think he's number 1 or something for bounces per game. He just takes it on. You don't know where he's going to go, but he makes it up, and it's exciting to watch. So I'm going to tip Gold Coast up there, and he's going to go
Yeah, well done, Gary Ablett. Earlier on in the year, we were giving him a hard time on this show. And he's just said, take that. He's been magnificent, 300 amazing games.
We didn't give him a hard time.
Well, we did. We all did.
We just asked him some questions
I didn't agree with it. I didn't want to do it. You made me do it. Anyway.
That's not what happened.
Good on you, Gary. You stuck it up the Footy Show, and we love that. Over to you, Sam. I think the Gold Coast will win.
You are concussed.
No, it's a milestone game for 100 games. You reckon they'll be all out to win for the boy playing his 100th game, Alex, do you?
Stephen May, they just may. Or eat some hay, play by the bay. I don't know. What do you say?
Are you concussed too?
Boys
See Billy Madison? No.
No, the Kangaroos go up there. Love going up there. They were going relocate there, and they've got a taste for the Gold Coast. Is that where it's being played?
Yep,
Yes, up there.
They got a taste for that.
They'll get out of there quick.
Yeah.
Okay, no. Gaz, 300. Of course they'll win. Absolutely. Go Suns.
Mayday for the Suns, maybe.
Oh, please. Okay, it is now time for sometimes one of my favourite segments on the show, Sam's Mailbag.
Still got some fans?
This is from Patrick Dangerfield.
No,
it's not. I was joking. It's not. It's from Jackson, with an X. Jackson of St Albans. Jackson. There's an attempt to join the upper echelon. Jackson. Hey, whoa, Jackson. How kitsch can you get? Hey, Pops. Put your reading glasses on, your dentures in, and read my bloody letter out, you creaky old prick. Yeah, what's he said wrong so far? I bumped into you at Oakley in 2008 and you commented on my sideburns. Remember? Oh, Jesus. Yeah, sure. 9 years ago, I do remember you, Jackson. You were that moron lying in the gutter. The dogs were pissing on you.
Oh, don't be mean.
I used to watch your show with the kids, but you remind my Ethan. What's Ethan?
Son.
Holy Jesus, Jackson and Ethan. And he's living in St Albans. Who's he trying to fool? You remind me of Ethan, of a creepy old man we once saw a photo of at Sovereign Hill. This is it.
Well, that does look like you, the fox.
That is a real man.
That actually looks like... Is that me?
That looks exactly like you.
Look at that.
About as old as you two.
He's just taking his sideburns.
Did I do that as a parody? No, all right.
It's a real...
I got a great question, spelled G-R-A-T-E. I got a great question for you, Newman. How would you describe yourself in 3 words? Superior to you. Say hi to Croft if he's on. He is, Jackson. In the paper, they mentioned a mystery Brownlow medalist who is doing the ninja show. Is it Shane? Is it Shane? Do you think this body belongs to Shane? This is the promo with the head. You reckon that looks like Shane? This looks like Shane. A little fat, obese gerbil.
Thank you very much for the plug for Australian Ninja Warriors. Starts July 9.
That's Adam Cooney, by the way, of course.
It is.
Oh, we're allowed to do it now?
Yes, we are. Adam
Beck's
Cooney
on
is part of
it.
it.
Little fat gerbils not on
I'll
it.
do it next year.
Hey?
I'll get in shape.
Good luck to
You better start training, Croft.
Oh, Beck, you can't say that.
No, you're just a little ball of crap, you
No,
are.
go
Look
on,
at you.
let it to.
From Glenda of Hobart.
I'm on Danger's side.
Don't we love him?
Yeah, we do, let it to. We all
Dear
do.
John, you happily criticise umpires, but put yourself in their shoes. Oh, Jesus. My hubby is an umpire down here in the local league, and it is very hard. I'm glad everything's going well at home for you, Glenda. With all the changes in interpretation this season, how do you think they react to every new rule? Well, probably like this.
Is that one of your kids, Croft?
No, that's not. That's Jack.
And how much influence, says Glenda, how much influence do you have with the AFL? Oh, yeah. We want our own team down here, not a relocated North Melbourne. Stuff what Hutchie thinks. Well, a little while ago, we did take our microphone down to Tasmania to get their point of view. And this is this local university professor summed it up very succinctly.
We're trying to get a new side from Melbourne down here to Hobart.
We're going to try and handball some fucking pitting sort of thing instead of getting our own state side. You kind of like food to Tassie public, like, you know. Yeah, you have this bit of scraps, you know what I mean? Like, I think I'll be happy with staying have it, like, you know. Just give us the own fucking side in the state, mate.
That's what we're trying to do, sir. But the boss said 10 years before there's one here.
He's fucking killing him, check his pulse and wake up himself and get
That was the Dean of Launceston speaking there, and he's head of the faculty down there. And he was made so much sense. We have had a bumper sticker made with... We had a bumper sticker made with that entire summation of why kangaroos are going down there. And so if you're from Hobart or from Tassie, you can stick that on your bumper bar. And
you've actually made that up. Have a look at you.
Put that on your car?
Made that up as a bumper sticker.
Yeah, that's a bumper sticker. That's the Dean of Hobart, Dean of the University of Hobart. That was him then.
Put it on your Lamborghini.
After that we sell these.
What?
You're going to put it on your Lamborghini?
Yep.
I've never had one down in Tassie. I might go over on the Spirit of Tassie. Yeah. We might draw a big crowd down there.
We might.
You wouldn't fit in it. From Jojo, this is from Jojo of Launching Place. Sammy, the Swans locked Brian Taylor out of their rooms on the weekend and didn't let him do his roaming Brian segment. What do you... Brian's probably delighted that they've locked him out of the rooms because Lewis Martin probably said to him, Brian, get a microphone and go in after the game, after you've called the whole thing, and speak to these fools in the locker room. Yeah, well, anyone. And Brian said, oh, yeah, that'd be a great idea, Lewis. Thank God that they're not allowed in, he thought. Anyhow, we reckon that this is what Brian would think of that. They've started a new song for him.
He thinks he's f***ing World Bronchite. Despite California rights 2.5, he can see his access up his backside. O'Brien band, yes, we made the call. In our defence, we'll get it, Malcolm to ball. BT as crisp as pork crackling. Orazio Fantasia, wowee!
Nice up. So you want to contribute next week, Kid Box 9. Melbourne, Victoria, 3001 or 9now.com.au/AFL Footy Show. Two young men, one prize, $50,000. It's coming next. Telstra Footy Smarts, right here on the Footy Show.
Lace up your boots and get your head in the game. It's Footy Smarts, brought to you by Telstra.
That's it. You can download the AFL Live official app and improve your footy knowledge today. It's got everything you need from the latest footy news, live scores and stats, plus the Telstra mobile customers can watch every footy match live, fast and data-free with your AFL Live pass. And we thank them for their support, Telstra, the last 5 weeks. It's grand final time. That man is up next, so he's second. I'm going to put him away there in the soundproof booth. That's Dylan. And Dylan, the soundproof booth will shut. We've got the Bluetooth headphones on him and the curtain goes back so he can't hear the questions. He'll get the same questions as this man. Good luck, Rory. How are you feeling?
All right, I guess.
It's going to be a big night for you. $50,000 on the line. Yep. Winner take all. Just a reminder of the rules. You get the same set of questions as Dylan does.
Yep.
You must answer as many as you can inside 3 minutes. If you don't know the answer, you can pass, but we won't come back on the passes tonight. You'll just be incorrect and I'll give you the answer. And a correct answer is worth $100. There are unlimited questions inside 3 minutes. All make sense?
Okay.
All right, it's time now for Footy Smarts. Let's get into it. Here we go, 3 minutes on the clock. And your time starts now. Port Power coach Ken Hinkley played senior football for Geelong and which other VFL club?
Pass.
In what year did Melbourne last win a VFL-AFL premiership?
1964.
Correct. What was the nickname shared by former AFL players Matthew Burton and Peter Everett?
Spider.
Correct. Who was appointed senior coach for the West Coast Eagles' inaugural 1987 season?
Ryan Alexander.
Correct. Who is this?
Bailey Dale.
Correct. In round 5, 1978, what exotic animal was famously paraded around the Arden Street Oval?
An elephant.
Correct. The medal awarded to the best Australian player in an international rules series is named after whom?
Jim Steins.
Correct. How many goals did Stuart Dew kick in the 2008 grand final?
3.
Incorrect. 2. Who is this?
Pass.
What age is Aaron Sandilands of the Fremantle Dockers?
34.
Correct. Who kicked the first ever AFL Premiership season goal for the Gold Coast Suns?
Charlie Dixon.
Correct. Lewis Taylor of the Brisbane Lions currently wears which jumper number?
28.
Correct. Which senior AFL player has to date recorded the most tackles in season 2017?
Rory Sloane.
Correct. Who is this?
Pass.
Current Bulldogs player Matt Suckling has played in how many grand final victories?
2.
Correct. In 1979, who was both captain and coach of Carlton's senior VFL side?
Alex Jesaulenko.
Correct. Apart from Clive Waterhouse, who was the only player selected at #1 in the national draft by the Fremantle Dockers?
Jeff White.
Correct. Who is this?
Pass.
In last year's premiership season, which was the only AFL team that the Western Bulldogs did not defeat?
Geelong.
Correct. In total, Brent Harvey played how many senior AFL games?
432.
Correct. 6 players of the current St Kilda senior list share what informal first name?
Jack.
Correct. Which current AFL coach won the inaugural Rising Star Award in 1993?
Nathan Buckley.
Correct. Who is this?
Billy Stretch.
Correct. To date, who has kicked the most career goals, Nick or Jack Revolt?
Nick Revolt.
Correct. Mark Murphy's grandfather, Leo Murphy, played 132 games for which VFL club?
Collingwood.
Incorrect. Which Geelong player scored both the first and last goal of the 2009 grand final?
Paul Chap. Oh, no, sorry. Max Rook.
Correct. Just got it in time. Who is this? Out of time there. Extraordinary effort. Well, count Max Rook because you didn't get the full Paul Chapman name out. You corrected yourself in time. That's an unbelievable achievement to get $22,000. It's a record so far. Round of applause if you can. Well done. Grab a seat.
All right.
You just grab a seat behind me right there.
Okay.
And make your way over. We'll invite Dylan out.
Go.
Here we go. Oh, it's tense, isn't it? Yep. Dylan's had a microphone drama on the way. It's all happening here at the Footy Show tonight. Wish him luck. Don't worry about the microphone drama. You'll be good to go.
Thanks, mate.
The score to beat, by the way, is $2,000. So 20 answers. Yep. Just to run you through the rules again, you get as many questions as you can inside 3 minutes. If you don't know the answer, you can pass, but you won't come back. I'll give you all the answers at the end of the ones that you pass on, but we won't be going back. A correct answer is worth $100. In the event of a tie, we will go to a tiebreaker. Mm-hmm. You need to beat 20 to win, so 2,100 is the score to win. 3 minutes on the clock, same set of questions, and your time, Dylan, starts now. Port Power coach Ken Hinkley played senior football for Geelong and which other VFL club?
Pass.
In what year did Melbourne last win a VFL-AFL premiership?
64.
Correct. What was the nickname shared by former AFL players Matthew Burton and Peter Everett?
Spider.
Correct. Who was appointed senior coach for the West Coast Eagles' inaugural 1987 season?
Ron Alexander.
Correct. Who is this?
Bailey Dale.
Correct. In round 5, 1978, what exotic animal was famously paraded around the Arden Street Oval?
Elephant.
Correct. The medal awarded to the best Australian player in an international rules series is named after whom?
Jim Steins.
Correct. How many goals did Stuart Dew kick in the 2008 AFL Grand Final?
3.
Incorrect. Who is this?
Am Tomlinson.
Correct. What age is Aaron Sandilands of the Fremantle Dockers?
33.
Incorrect. Who kicked the first ever AFL Premiership season goal for the Gold Coast Suns?
Alex Sexton.
Incorrect. Lewis Taylor of the Brisbane Lions currently wears which jumper number?
28.
Correct. Which senior AFL player has to date recorded the most tackles in season 2017?
Matt Prentice.
Incorrect. Who is this?
Pass.
Current Bulldogs player Matt Suckling has played in how many grand final victories?
2.
Correct. In 1979, who was both captain and coach of Carlton?
Jesselenko.
Correct. Apart from Clive Waterhouse, who was the only player selected at number 1 in the national draft by the Fremantle Dockers?
Pass.
Who is this?
Ben Crocker.
Correct. In last year's premiership season, which was the only AFL team that the Western Bulldogs did not defeat?
Geelong.
Correct. In total, Brent Harvey played how many senior AFL matches?
432.
Correct. 6 players of the current St Kilda senior list share what informal first name?
Jack.
Correct. Which current AFL coach won the inaugural Rising Star Award in 1993? Correct. Who is this?
Billy Stretch.
Correct. To date, who has kicked the most AFL career goals, Nick or Jack Revolt?
Nick.
Correct. Mark Murphy's grandfather, Leo Murphy, played 132 games for which VFL club?
Fitzroy.
Incorrect. Which Geelong player scored both the first and last goal of the 2009 grand final?
Chapman. Rook. Max Rook.
Correct. Who is this?
Pass.
In what year did the newly merged Brisbane Lions first play in the AFL?
97.
Correct. Which Melbourne Demon was the most recent to win the Coleman Medal?
David Neitz.
Correct. True or false, Port Adelaide was established as an Aussie rules football club before... It's a tiebreaker. I was one word off getting that out. It's a tiebreaker. We both gave them both the correction on Rook on Chapman. That's a tie. We're going to come back after the break with a tiebreaker here on the Footy Show. Right, there's Rory, who's gone inside the soundproof booth for the tiebreaker. You wouldn't read about this, would you? Unbelievable on Telstra Footy Smarts. Totally unscripted. There's 5 questions each. Is the tiebreaker. Dylan's still here. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I've got no idea what's going to happen, mate. I'm pretty nervous.
Well, you'll be right. Just relax. You'll both have got an equal chance of winning this. Here we go. To state the obvious. 5 questions and no time limit here. Who kicked more goals in the VFL for Hawthorn? Lee Matthews or Peter Hudson?
Lee Matthews.
Correct. To date, how many goals has Jeremy Cameron kicked in the 2017 home and away season?
38.
Incorrect. True or false? The 3 Cloak brothers never played in an AFL match together for the same club.
I'm going to say true.
Incorrect. Which South Australian AFL club won the first ever so-called showdown in 1997?
Port Adelaide.
Correct. Who is this?
Jesus.
We need an answer.
Yep, all right. I'm going to say... sorry, I don't know.
Incorrect, obviously.
Yep.
200 though, magnificent effort, well done. It'll be very competitive. I'd like you to grab a seat there, Dylan, if we can. We're going to welcome Rory out. And Rory, in the tiebreaker, the 18-year-old, the quadruplet. It comes down to this. 200 is the leading score, obviously, or the only score. You've got to get 3 of the 5 right to win the $50,000. There's no time limit on the questions. There's 5 of them. Who kicked more goals in the VFL for Hawthorn? Lee Matthews or Peter Hudson?
Lee Matthews.
Correct. To date, how many goals has Jeremy Cameron kicked in the 2017 AFL home and away season?
39.
Is correct. You need one more to win of the last three. True or false? The three Cloak brothers never played in an AFL match together for the same club.
False.
False is correct. Congratulations. Well done to both of you. Your family's over there and asked you to head over. Good on you, mate. You won $50,000. Well done, Dylan.
How are you all? Rory, come over here. Rory, show your face to Australia. Rory, how are you feeling? Do you know what you have just won?
$50,000.
Whoa! $50,000. What are you going to spend $50,000 on?
Oh, I'm not sure at the moment. I'll have to keep planning.
Okay, do you know what Mum just said when I asked her that question? She said, me, Mum and Dad, how are you feeling? How proud of your son are you?
I can't speak, which is very unusual for me. I'm very proud. Yeah, we all are.
Did you think that he could win it tonight going into the competition?
Oh, look, I knew Dylan was a very strong competitor, and we're a bit concerned, weren't we, Rory?
Yeah, definitely.
So he's a very deserving. It's a pity he can't also get something out of it as well.
Yeah, I know. Well, on this competition, he will. There is only one winner, of course, for the $50,000 thanks to Telstra. But, of course, your competitor tonight will also get his prize money. How is that, my friend? A check. 50 grand. How you feeling? Amazing. Top of the world?
I guess so.
All right, we're going to take a very short break here on the Footy Show. Put your hands together for our Footy Smarts winner.
Go, come on. Groups of three, one footy.
When Jack Dyer was coach of your side, he used to say, all right, you boys, I want you to pair off in threes. The academy.
Yeah, welcome aboard.
What you want to hope, you boys, is that by the end of today that I don't turn out to be the fittest and most competent at what we're doing here today. That'll put a dampener on what he's trying to achieve.
The odds of that are pretty low, I'd say.
I'd keep the books open if I was you, just looking round. Oh, shit.
Come on in, old mate.
All right.
So this is what our students do every morning before they come in. They do their wellness.
I see.
So how are you feeling today? How's your general fatigue?
Tired, weary.
Very weary.
You smart ass.
Glutes, hips and groins.
Oh, yeah, no, they're all in great nick. Yeah, haven't used half of them for 30 years. Where is all this headed, Alex?
Our teacher gets given all this information to make sure that all our students are in tip-top shape, ready to learn.
So it's important that you know that your students' glutes are in good nick, is it?
Also that we don't overtrain them, Sam.
Oh, no.
All right, anyway, we're late for class. Let's get in there.
All right, now everyone's here. We'll just look at our wellness for today.
Hey, listen, don't put any of the ones that were no good on, will you? Just put the one that I kicked on. No.
Everyone's looking pretty good with the green and yellows, except for a big lawn of red. Sam, sort of struggling today.
Looks like I'm dead.
The red doesn't flatter it too much, but...
Not far off it, though.
Jake's going to take you through your strength and conditioning program today, so I'll leave it up to him.
You know the drill, so overhead squats down.
I tell you what, mate, give us a call when it gets more challenging, will you?
All right, well...
1, 2, 1, 2.
This is part of our education, believe it or not.
Tomato, I think a massage once a week is almost an essential part of sporting life.
Right, here we go. This is pretty much wrapping up our day, mate. What do you reckon of the school?
No, it's a very good thing you're doing. I think I've come through with flying colours, to be quite honest.
Oh, chance! There we go.
Inside Alex Rance's school called The Academy. And Alex, that looks fantastic, and you have a very exciting announcement for our Footy Show viewers tonight.
Yes, the Academy is giving one lucky Year 10 student a full scholarship to the Academy worth $18,000 there. So
full scholarship?
For the 2-year education. So that includes uniform, everything, no more to pay. You just come in and get yourself educated.
So who can enter and how can you enter?
So if you jump on our website, which is on the screen there, you upload a 2-minute or less video of yourself explaining why, show a bit of charisma like yourself, Sam, and then upload that to our website, and then you have to be Year 10
So there's an age limit.
There is an age limit, so unfortunately you couldn't make it, mate.
Now, look, it is a great thing. They're role models.
fabulous.
Alex is a role model, like Job was, and Patrick Dangerfield's a role model.
He is.
No, it is a great thing that you're doing, Alex, and I know we take the urine out of you, but you're adding something and giving something back to the boys that idolise you, so well done.
Well done,
Maybe you can on the weekend too, Becca. Port Adelaide and Richmond's going to be a big game of football over at the Adelaide Oval. And Port Adelaide are a really steady team. They're building nicely, young and neat. Pollock, a big in, and will cause some damage on the famous Adelaide Oval against the Tigers, who've got 2 changes now. Basher Hall, of course, one of them. Well done to Stengel, the nephew of Mickey O, who gets his opportunity. And a big day at Richmond with Ivan Maric announcing his retirement at the end of the year, Alex.
Yeah, he's... There he is, the class clown, showing off his goggles that he wore on the very first day that he rocked up at the Crows. So he used that, I'm hanging up my goggles rather than hanging up my boots. So it was pretty rough. I'm obviously a pretty emotional fella, and this one hit especially hard because he's the cultural barometer of our football club, and we'll miss him. But we've got the rest of the year to do our jobs, and he was very upfront with that.
Yeah, we played Port Adelaide over there a few weeks ago and got touched up. You know, they're ranked #1 for inside 50s this year, for 61.1. So this man's going to have to be at his best. And I think he's going to stop a fair few of their balls inside 50, but I'm going to tip Port Adelaide over there.
Yeah, I agree with you, Sean. I love Richmond, the way they're playing. Fast footy, it's fantastic to watch. But over there, Port are very tough. Very good win last week, and I think they'll continue on. Samuel.
Oh no, Shane, no, I think the Richmond boys will just wander over there and go rat-a-tat-tat. And I don't know if you'll be any good, but it won't matter. I think the forwards will do the job, and so watch out, Port Adelaide. Okay. You won't win.
Yes.
Dusty and Alex, how could you go wrong? Richmond all the way for me. Come on, Piggy Tigers. OK, let's look at the... Oh, Hutchie?
No, you're right. I'll go.
OK, should we have a look at the next game?
Let's go.
OK, terrific. Thank you very much. All right, let's take a look at the next game. Saturday at the MCG. It is the Blues up against Adelaide. Lots of ins and outs. You can see on the bottom there, out goes Curnow, Smets, Focus, Pickett. In comes Cunningham, Fisher, Kerridge and White to the Carlton side. Over the page, having a look at the Adelaide Crows. They got touched up. Surprisingly, last Thursday, Cameron is injured and Lynch as well. In comes McGovern, Knight and McKay as well. But the story of this game is this man, Bryce Gibbs. Will he end up at Adelaide next season? We've got to give credit to him, though. 2 weeks ago, he racked up 42 disposals. He is in career best form. He's the wrong... that's all right, the wrong vision there, that's OK. Will he go back to Adelaide, do you think? At the end of the year, he asked for a trade, but he's playing the best footy he's ever played.
I think what this really shows is that obviously free agency doesn't worry him. It's not bothering his form, so that could be seen either way, that it's really pumping up his stocks to go over to Adelaide, and they're going to have to pay a pretty price to scalp him, or they're going to stay at Carlton. I'd love to see him stay a one-club player and see what they're building, but that's it's completely up to him.
Yeah, it's obviously going to be a big decision for him at the end of the year, but Adelaide are the highest-scoring team this year. They average 116 points, and they've won their last 3 games at the MCG, so I'm tipping Adelaide to bounce back.
No one gave the Blues a chance coming into this year, and I think they've been amazing. They really have, with such young talent. 4 have been nominated for Rising Star so far this year, so the future's very bright, although they won't beat the Adelaide Crows.
Could you honestly care if he remains a one-club player, Alex?
Not really.
Honestly? No.
It was a nice thing to say,
So juicing up for the Carlton supporters in here. Of course they're going to want him to stay. There's no Adelaide supporters in here, is there?
They don't want to let him go.
Here, throw mine.
Right, easy, boys. Are you tipping?
What?
Are you tipping?
Well, you'd think that Adelaide coming over here playing Carlton on their home ground couldn't win, but I think they will.
Okay. The Crows have won their past 3 at the MCG, so, yeah, I'm going the Crows.
Don't forget, too, Sportsbet's 24 up special is on again in round 14 with every punter that backed Fremantle getting their cash in the second quarter. The 21st minute mark of the second term, Lockie Neal put the Dockers 24 points up, and Sportsbet paid out straight away. 4,000 punters that was that backed Fremantle head-to-head. Of course, the Cats then went on to win a thrill, and the Sportsbet office went into meltdown. What's even better, they're sticking with it and will again pay out on head-to-head bets as soon as your team goes 24 points up in round 15. To get involved, just download the Sportsbet app, and if you're having a bet, please gamble responsibly. More Footy Show right after this. Welcome back to the Footy Show. Well done to that man tonight. He was courageous, Dylan. Fantastic effort in Telstra Footy Smarts. He went down to Rory in the end, but he was gracious in defeat. It was tight to the end, tiebreaker. And the good news is, Sam, that Dylan doesn't go empty-handed. We've got $5,000 for him to take home for beating. Thanks to our great friends at Telstra.
That's fantastic.
They were both great. Let's get into the
sticker.
Absolutely.
And a
Let's get into Fremantle and St Kilda, which is going to be a big game on the weekend. 2 big ends for the Dockers, Sam Owens and Fife come back in the team. Very heartened to see Fife ready to re-sign. And the Saints are yet to eliminate their squad of 25 with no changes and 3 possible inclusions. We'll take a look at them. Who are you tipping, Alex?
I'm going to go for Fremantle over there at the main stadium. I'm going with the Saints. Yep.
Sam?
This is not a criticism of the Fremantle Dockers, but they play the worst football you could ever see.
This wasn't pretty, was it?
No, they do every week.
beat your Cats.
What is a criticism? I'm not. No, it's not a criticism. You play to win, and that's how they think they'll win.
Okay.
Tip. Yeah, I think the side that plays the worst football I've ever seen will probably win.
Okay, that's Freo for you, and I'm going the Saints. Let's take a look at the next Sunday game at Etihad Stadium. 1:10. The Essendon Footy Club up against the Lions. Let's take a look. Obviously, squads at this stage. Parrish, Hooker, Begley and Leuenberger on the interchange, named and over on the Brisbane Lions. Beams out, injured, and in comes Hobbs, Walker, Freeman and Caperone as well. This will be an interesting one. We had Joe Watson on before, Alex. Who do you think? Essendon to win?
I think Essendon are far too strong at this stage of the year.
I'll agree with Alex.
Essendon's by 50 points.
Brendan Goddard, if there's 10 seconds to go and you just happen to be up and you've got a free kick, take a 50-metre run up, mate, and run the clock down while you're running to kick the ball.
All right, good luck to the Bombers on the weekend.
Bombers for you? Yep.
Bombers for me. Hutchie?
Bombers for Samuel. Thanks for your time tonight. Well done again to Rory. Well done to everyone involved, Becca and Sam.
Alex Rand.